I'm with Lisa Hone here. Lisa, can you tell us your impressions of what happened today?
We spoke to the Minister. We were very organised in terms of we had prepared a bullet point list, which basically we left with the Minister that gave him a very, very clear overview of the big issues that still exist and really dog the scheme and are causing tremendous anxiety, heartache and stress. I think that worked well. He heard us. There was a lot of detail there. What we did want to press for was basically actions and timelines, because I didn't want it to be just a talking shop. This is not just for us. This is not just an information gathering exercise for him. Of course, he's a new minister. He's new into the role, but we want to see very definite action and timelines coming out. And I can't, it's very difficult to express how forthright we were, but you know, if it's any comfort to homeowners, we absolutely fought for you tooth and nail in that meeting, and we pressed and we pressed and we pressed. So unfortunately, we did not get him to say he will come back to us on a specific date, but he did say he will come back to us. So rest assured, we will continue to press very, very hard in terms of actions and timelines on all the key issues.
Mr. Darragh O'Brien from the Housing Department was there. In a housing committee meeting, there was almost a kind of, I don't know how you'd say it, but there was a difference of opinion about the term 100% between himself and Patrick McLaughlin. Do you think Mr. Darragh O'Brien learned anything today?
Well, I would certainly hope so. And one of the key points that we made was that we are where we are now because homeowners have not been listened to. You know, we feel like the department has gone through a tick box exercise. They've cherry picked pieces that they are, you know, would deign to include in the scheme. But effectively, you know, homeowners have been kept at arm's length. We have not been let in the door at important meetings, not been included in reviews. The information that we have put forward has been filtered by the department. You know, and so one of the things we just wanted to impress upon the Minister is, like, if you continue with the same attitude where you basically edit, you know, what suits you to hear from the homeowners, this is just going to go on. So there has to be a very, very significant shift in the way that homeowners are engaged with in a very genuine and listening manner, and also action. You know, we're really, really impressed upon it. Like, this has been just dragging on for so long. And obviously all the issues that Tricia spoke about, you know, they are a result of this being an absolute torment to homeowners for years and years and years. And the only solution to that is to address the issues with action and, you know, speedy action, not action that's going to take years and years to bring to pass.
Maybe you can help me here with something. One of the problems, it seems, with the former minister was the way things were continuously framed. So, for example, or you know, the gaslighting that went on. So, for example, the independent chartered surveyors of Ireland, who had a terms of reference that dictated pre-2008 materials. The downsizing, but you have to get a lesser grant. The claim that continuous claim that it was 100% when driveways and garages aren't included. The homeowners who protested in Engineers Island, who were bordering on the intimidatory. There seemed to be a whole ream of things that would make a homeowner upset. Does the minister understand that his new office can't go forward in that same vein?
Well, we would hope so. I mean, I would say that the ball is very firmly in the minister's court right now. He has been given a huge amount of information, very detailed information, and covering a huge breadth of issues. I think we did actually successfully cover off a huge amount of, you know, the key issues that are really, really dogging the scheme and homeowners' lives, obviously, as a result. So, you know, it is down to him now. And we did speak about the way that homeowners have been treated. You know, it was a very plain speaking meeting, because we just felt that that was what was needed. And, if we felt that, he was trying to come back with evasive answers, then we pressed him, and we went round again, and we pushed and we pushed and we pushed. And we will continue pushing for that, because, it's ultimately down to him to decide. He is the minister now who has the power to do right by the homeowners. He knows, he has the facts. We've absolutely made sure of that. That, there was no grey there today. There was no grey there today whatsoever. It was absolutely clearly put to him in black and white in terms of where the issues are and what needs to happen to rectify them and resolve them. And it needs to be done at speed. So it's down to himself now in terms of next steps, but we will be pressing him hard for those.
If the minister is heading into a department that's headed by officials who have administered the scheme over the last decade, what confidence do you have that the minister can steer his team in a new direction?
Well, he's the head of department, so it's down to himself. And, you would think that if he feels that he's not getting the right response or things are not moving quickly, that is down to him to structure a team that can actually make this happen in the way it needs to happen. So that's down to him as head of department. And one would hope that he will do that. He will do right by the homeowners, because, the messages today were delivered to him in very, very definite and certain terms.
In relation to the timelines you spoke of, what is the outcome of that? Are you expecting the minister to get back to you with a plan of some kind, or are you giving him a demand that this must be done by a certain date, or how do you see that timeline being constructed?
Well, we're just going to have to follow up hard on that. One thing that we did speak about was the retrospective payments, because we know that obviously that is hugely important to a lot of people going through the scheme right now. There was a grey sort of response, but we circled back around and said, no, that has to go through the Dáil, within this term, before the summer recess. And we did have some opposition members there, and we would hope that, and they supported that as well. And we would hope that I think we pressed upon him the urgency of that. It is not something that can be left. There's a lot of different issues, but some of them are absolutely screaming red hot, and that is one of them. And also, to not get it through the Dáil within this sitting would be a complete betrayal of what we were promised last autumn. We knew that there would be an interruption because of the general election, and obviously, it's taken a while for the Dáil to kind of, but get back into the saddle in terms of, passing legislation, etc. But there is time. This is all a question of priorities. It's absolutely all a question of priorities. And if he wants this done, this can happen.
Did the minister seem surprised at anything that was said today?
I would think that he's got a lot to think about, seriously, because, there was a lot of very, very serious information given to him. And I would imagine it's probably quite a different story than maybe what he's heard from people within the Customs House. This was the scheme unfiltered, as opposed to the filtered version that he may have been getting from some of the people who surround him in the department.
It was said that some of the evidence given to the minister was emotional. Could you describe that in any non-specific way? Could you describe that emotion and what effect do you think it may have had on the minister?
Well, we can only hope that we got some cut through. But it is emotional. This whole issue is emotional. We understand the huge toll it's taking on people and their lives and their families. We're in it as homeowners. We get it because we're in it and we're living and breathing it as well. We speak to people continuously. We have lots of different examples, of people's particular situations that are absolutely heartbreaking. So, obviously without naming any names, we did relate those. These are real live situations that are happening right now. And fundamentally, to impress upon him that he has the power to change this. That's what we said, you have the power to change this. We need you to act upon it. Please do not let this grind on in the same fashion that it's ground on for the last few years.
Going forward, what does the minister have to do, Lisa?
The minister has to act. It's very straightforward. He has all the information. He has acres of information. He now has to act. You know, we need a plan and we need it done very, very swiftly. And, you know, I suppose our job is to follow up on that. But, you know, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for action, and we're looking for timelines, and we're looking for things to be done swiftly.
Thank you very much, Lisa.